What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a Marvel science fiction superhero film that was directed and co-written by Scott Derrickson and primarily follows Benedict Cumberbatch's character Dr. Stephen Strange. This story kicks off by giving us a glimpse into the rich and luxurious lifestyle of neurosurgeon Stephen Strange. Well, one night Doctor Strange's whole life is turned upside down after he's involved in a deadly automobile accident that causes him to suffer extreme nerve damage to his hands. After thorough exhaustion of any and all forms of medical treatment that do him no good, a desperate Stephen Strange turns to a mysterious woman known as the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, that he hopes can help him regain his strength in his hands and thus get his normal life back. Soon enough, Doctor Strange is exposed to the mystical arts and begins training under the Ancient One as well as some other sorcerers that expand his mind and show him many unknown secrets of the universe. And once Doctor Strange is introduced to the mystic arts, he's also introduced to the darker side of this magic, and more specifically to Mads Mikkelsen's character Caecilius, whose main goal is to bring down the Ancient One and re-establish the presence of an almighty foe. And the rest of the film is spent watching the showdown between the two clashing sorcerer ideologies as the two sides attempt to achieve their own goals. Okay, so I think a lot of people, including myself, have become pretty invested in our Marvel heroes and really the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. Each and every time a Marvel film is released, it does very well to exceptionally well at the box office because most of us have become pretty invested in these characters, and we always enjoy new ones being added to the mix. And I'm one of those people, meaning I came into Doctor Strange with pretty high expectations because Marvel has set the bar reasonably high for themselves. And while my expectations were certainly met with this movie, I do want to say that I think this is a very good Marvel movie, but not a great one. If you had a list ranking all of the 14 Marvel movies so far, I think Doctor Strange would be somewhere in the middle of the pack. I want to start with the visuals because I think Marvel has really stepped outside their comfort zone and delivered some shocking visual spectacles in this film that are just amazing to look at. I was honestly stunned at how awesome all these scenes look, which is a truly remarkable feat considering every single one of Marvel's films look really good. When you go see a Marvel film, you expect to see some explosive fight scenes and heroes doing amazing things and kicking ass, and while you definitely do get that with Doctor Strange too, it feels a little bit different this time around. It feels different because there's more than just superheroes and supervillains fighting each other. There's interdimensional travel, the manipulation of time, and other mind-blowing visual spectacles that are a little bit different from Marvel's previous work. I was watching some of these scenes unfold on screen and I was thinking to myself, like, how in the hell did they even pull this off? My head hurts. And the story's construction feels similar yet different. There's still that classic Marvel formula at play where something tragic generally happens to our main hero that either leads them on their path to superpowers or guides them down a righteous path, and combine that with a test for the hero and an evil villain of some sort. But what's different about Doctor Strange is that it's way trippier, for lack of a better term, than any of its predecessors. I mean, like I said, the plot is very focused on topics like interdimensional travel and magic and manipulating time, and most superhero films don't usually go near topics that are sort of outside the box like this, probably for fear of confusing and frustrating the audience. Now don't get me wrong, this still is very much an origin story, but you still get the exciting stuff too. You spend a decent chunk of time with Doctor Strange, watching him grow and evolve into his eventual master of the mystic arts self, with some action sprinkled in every so often so you don't get bored. But that's why origin stories are so tricky, because you want to take the appropriate time to develop the character and show their maturation process, but you also want to keep the audience entertained with some action, which is a tricky balance to strike. And Marvel mostly maintains that balance pretty smoothly, although I will say that sometimes they rush Doctor Strange's development a bit by making him too good at his studies too quickly. At times I was a little frustrated by Doctor Strange's extremely quick advancement in his studies of the mystic arts. At one point he asks the Ancient One how he gets on her level, and she tells him years of practice. Then like 25 minutes later he's pulling off these amazing feats out of nowhere. It was just like his progress was a little rushed so the final showdown could actually happen in an exciting way, and this does suck you out of the story just a tad. But I did like the story as a whole. I thought everything was paced really nicely. The action scenes were right where I expected them to be and they delivered at the level I hoped. You get time to reflect and cool down, and you get quality development of our main characters, which is obviously really important, especially in an origin story. I also thought the acting performances were very strong. There's 6 key characters in this film, and those are Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, Carl Mordo, Doctor Strange's mentor and sidekick of sorts, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, the Ancient One, the main master of the mystic arts, played by Tilda Swinton, Rachel McAdams as Surgeon Christine Palmer, former Doctor Strange's love interest, Benedict Wong as Wong, a fellow master of the mystic arts, and Mads Mikkelsen as Caecilius, the main antagonist of the film. Each one of these actors was really awesome in their respective role, and I was very impressed at how much value each one of them brought to the final product. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch killed it and perfectly embodied the role of Doctor Strange. I think me and everyone else thought this was a perfect casting when the news dropped a couple years back now, and rest assured it was. I also really enjoyed Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One because she 100% sold me on her knowledge and insight of the mystic arts, and even her ability as a teacher and leader. Mads Mikkelsen did a very nice job in his role too, although the character himself pretty much falls in line with most Marvel movie villains in that he's pretty generic and forgettable. But I don't blame the acting performance for this. It's more the character himself and how there's not really enough time to really explore him in any depth. Rachel McAdams is not really in the movie all that much, although she does do a very nice job in her role in limited screen time. I didn't necessarily feel a genuine love connection between she and Doctor Strange, which is a bit problematic, but I can't fault her performance. She gives just as strong a performance here as she always does. Chiwetel Ejiofor did a nice job as Mordo, and this was another one where I was thrilled with the casting. Chiwetel Ejiofor is an amazing actor, and I thought he played a complicated character in Mordo at a level that not many actors in Hollywood really could. He's great. And finally, Benedict Wong as Wong did a nice job and brought some nice comic relief to the film. I will say that there is definitely some comedy that feels forced into this movie where it didn't necessarily fit, not with Wong's character necessarily, but other characters do sort of engage in this out of place banter at times that didn't quite feel natural. And Marvel is known to do this at times because there is still a family friendly element to their films, but this time around it doesn't work near as well. I did think the dialogue was very nicely written as a whole, but the humor can tend to feel a bit out of place. But overall, I did really enjoy Doctor Strange. I thought it had some outstanding visuals, good acting and a good cast, a unique and well-paced story, and well-written dialogue. I also felt that Doctor Strange's development was rushed at times, the villain is a bit forgettable, and the humor can often feel forced. These are all minor complaints though, and I'm still going to give Doctor Strange an 8.5 out of 10, and definitely recommend you go see this one in theaters, especially if you love Marvel movies or superhero movies in general. So did you guys see Doctor Strange yet? What did you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if not, let me know whether you'd be interested in watching this film or not. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for much more content like this. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next video.